Well, that sucked. That was sloppy. That was real sloppy. Um, there's a lot for me to say, to be honest. Um, that to me is like a typical Flyers game. Seriously, like that to me is a game where you look at it like this is a game where you look at the schedule in a normal year, and you got like a 7 o'clock home game on a Saturday night, and it's against a team that you think that they should win against, and it's just one of them games where certain things don't go their way, and it just reminds me. It's just like a typical Flyers game for me. And to be honest with you, did the Flyers play great? No. Montreal played good. They really did. I mean, they were fast on the forecheck and things like that. So before I, start ripping on people, let's take it easy here and let's get into it. So a couple notes to start off here. The lineup was exactly the same lines, things like that. And Carter Hart was in that. There's a little bit of speculation, wondering if Hart was going to, sit out because of a back-to-back and all this stuff. So now that there's a game 6, there's now a day in between. So today is Wednesday. The Flyers will now play on Friday. The time has not been announced yet. I'd assume it is at probably 3 o'clock, if anything, because that's been the times of the series so far, 8 and 3. So for most of the games. So starting off first period, Flyers. It was really Canadiens early. They get it right off the hop, and then Flyers get a power play here. Looked like a goaltender interference on Sherratt. They called it, and the Flyers, they go to the power play. Canadiens score shorthanded. Armia, it's just a weird play. I mean, just the way it is. It's like they move the puck, and they're just moving it around, and they got two guys in the corner. They're mismatched in the corner. That's one thing. It's a weird dump in. Nobody goes back and gets it. Armia pounces on it. It goes right into the sweet spot, is what I like to call it. And in between, above the pad, below the glove, and it's just right there. It goes right in between Hart. Really nothing he could do. It's definitely one he should have back. He would want to have back, but again, that's really not the greatest defense. To be honest with you, Flyers, they had a good power play going. Again, they get another power play, and the power play ended up getting 3 goals today. They generated all their goals today, but forecheck here takes a 4-minute high sticking penalty with blood. So again, they killed that off. But again, it was a 1-0 lead Canadiens still after the first period. I thought it was a good period from the Flyers. The goals would come, and then the shots after the first period were 12-10 in favor of the Flyers. Going into the second, 5-minute penalty and a game misconduct here on Kotkaniemi for a hit where he basically boarded Sanheim. Sanheim was bleeding and get cut, looked like above the around his eye area. So he gets a 5-minute. Flyers get 2 goals on that, both from Jake Voracek. The one was a one-timer. The other one he slid it in front. I thought it went off Couturier. Ended up looking like it looked like it went off Price and in. So right there, it's a 2-1 Flyers lead. A couple minutes later, the second was really kind of back and forth play. It was a little bit more in the end of it. In the end, the last 10 minutes of that second period was more in the Flyers zone, and the Habs tie it. Armia again from the angle. Hart down early again. I don't know why he goes down on that sometimes. It's kind of aggravating. The Canadiens were shooting high on Hart all game, and they get one here. It goes it nicks off Hart's helmet and goes in, and it's tied 2-2. A couple minutes later, Canadiens, they go on a power play again, and they get one. Beautiful play. I mean, it's a pass over, and it's smacked out of the air by Gallagher, who I can't stand. I cannot stand Gallagher. Gallagher is, to be honest, is like Marchand. I cannot stand that guy. And it's a 3-2, Habs lead here, and it's just the penalty itself is horrible. It was a 4-minute power play by Myers. He cross-checked somebody in the face. I don't know why you're doing that. The Flyers just fed into everything the Canadiens were doing after the whistle. So undisciplined. They were really sloppy in their own zone at times, and it led to chances, and the Canadiens pounced on it. You got to be better. To me, the whole game, they just made bonehead plays. So getting into the third here, it was really all Habs to start the period. They had 7 shots in the first 3 minutes of that period. Flyers had 2, and the Flyers were really on their heels at this point. They were getting their chances. Power play was 2 for 5, ends up being 3 for, I believe, 7 for the game. You have 3 for 7. Habs were 1 for 6. And then Farabee gets one here on the power play, ties it up. Really nice pass from Voracek, who had 3 points in this game. Really nice game from Jake, 2 goals and an assist. And literally, 15, 20 seconds later, Thompson makes a stupid play, just wants to, dilly-dally to the puck into the corner, throws it to absolutely nobody. Braun and Hag, nowhere to be found. Suzuki comes in, wide open net. Why? Why does that happen? That was the second time in this game they put the fourth line out there with the third defensive pairing, and it was also the second time that they generated a chance and they scored. They had another chance in the second where that fourth line and that third defensive pairing was out there. Habs generated a pretty good scoring chance. I don't remember what it was, but I know they generated a chance. I don't know why they were out there. Why? If they're going to do that and they're just going to make those plays, and if you are that screwed and you aren't able to move the puck up, then I don't get it. I don't get it. You just tie the game. Like, I don't know. Yes, it is an overreaction, yeah, because it's like, it shouldn't happen. And I get it. The lines are on the ice. I thought that line actually had a good game, the fourth line. Same with the third defensive pairing. I thought they played good, to be honest, for the most part. I think it was just an odd game for the Flyers. It's just like a typical Flyers game. It's like, you have a lead at one point. You're down in the period. You give up a goal early, right? And then you get a gracious power play. You pot 2 goals on a power play that was struggling this whole time. They get 3 power play goals tonight. Then they give up a weak one. Then they take a stupid penalty and they're down again. Then they tied in the third, another dumb play. For some reason, they just didn't want to attack at the end of the period. It was like the Flyers were mismatched on battles in the corner, and it was just a whole mess in this one. Sloppy play leads to sloppy things in the puck in the back of your net, and that's what happened tonight. So the Habs here, again, Suzuki gets the fourth one, Deneau gets an empty netter. There was a lot of scrums and fights, and again, the Flyers were so undisciplined in this one, taking so many penalties. It was just, again, like the Habs were 1 for 6, but that goal, that puts them in front. You give up a shorthanded goal in this game. You give up a power play goal. You take 6 penalties. The Canadiens did block 23 shots, so that right there, that's huge as well. Shots on goal were 33-29 at the end of the game. 11 giveaways for Montreal, 6 for the Flyers. Hits were 39-28 in favor of the Canadiens. The penalty minutes were 33 for Montreal, 34 for the Flyers. Well, look, I don't know. I don't know. It sucks because I wanted them to really finish this one tonight and get some more rest, but they have to play now again on Friday. But we'll take it game by game here. They really got to turn it up here for Game 6. To be honest, I'm nervous for Game 6. Again, it's another elimination game. The Flyers have to come out ready to play again. It cannot be, it was kind of a slower start, but they started to get their legs, but they got to get the first goal again. Both games they haven't scored first, they've lost. So, really, you have to score first. Leading ice time guy here for the forwards for the Flyers is Couturier with 20 minutes and 34 seconds, 6:09 on the power play. A lot of guys had around 16, 15 minutes here for the Flyers. Going into the defense, you got Provorov with 26 minutes and 47 seconds, 6 minutes and 10 seconds of that being on the power play, 5 and a half being shorthanded. I don't know. To be honest with you, the Canadiens, it looked like it was actually going to be 4-2 at one point, which was kind of odd. Goal ended up being offside. Flyers ended up tying the game and things like that. They were very fortunate there because if that goal stood, this game's over. It's 4-2 then, and then, if that same play happens with Suzuki scored, then it's 5-3. So, again, it's one of them games where, I know that this team can bounce back. And again, back-to-back losses still hasn't happened. So let's change it for Game 6. This is just that game that leaves a bad taste in your mouth. It really does. I thought the Flyers played a good game for the most part, to be honest with you. It's just a couple mistakes in their own zone and stupid penalties really costed them tonight. And, it sucks. Should they have won this game? Probably. If they played like I know they could play, they should have won. But you know what? It happens. Let's take it into Game 6. Again, I'm a little nervous. I'm not really worried. I'm just nervous just by the way that, I saw the Canadiens play tonight. And, with all the fights and that, it looked like they were in the Flyers' head tonight. So again, let's erase it. Tomorrow is a new day. Let's take that in. Let's go into Friday and let's pick up a win here and win this series, boys. Come on. First time since 2012. Let's make it happen. Come on, boys. I know this team can do it. I know it. We've seen it. I've seen it. You've seen it. All of us have seen it. So let's take it in. Game's over now. Let's dissect what we can, all the positives, all the negatives, work on the negatives, and let's go into this next game and pick up a win here and ended up winning this series in 6 games. I had this series in 5 or 6 games. It seemed like a lot of people had the Flyers steamrolling them. I didn't see it happening. And again, I knew it wouldn't happen. So again, as I said, let's take it into this next game. Let's pick up a win here. Remember, guys, podcast, articles, those links are on my channel. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys in the next one, and goodbye.